thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put I used tweezers and a screwdriver. You gotta hold the ring straight while you twist the plastic screw. They're two separate pieces and it just kind of comes out. I had to kind of like pry it out, but as you can see, like there's like a separate ring and then there's the screw itself. So as I did, use like you gotta hold one and twist the other. That's how you do it. So once you get that out, you are going to yank this thing out. There's a piece of felt that fell, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so what I found is that it's really hard to get in there with just your fingers. So I tried that for a bit, being a first timer, and then I got a pair of scissors and tried to sort of pry it out. I read that you can break the screws that are in the inserts, so you don't want to do that too hard. So I put on some gloves and really pried my fingers, into it, and my glove got stuck there. So you really got to kind of bang it loose before you pull it down to avoid snapping any of the plastic screws. And then it'll just kind of pop off. So really just give it a good smack on either side and work it loose. Don't force it. This is a really quick job. And eventually it'll just pop off. And one more hit. There it is. Just keep on pulling. Maybe hit it again. Yep. Okay, there it goes. Maybe one more hit. Nope. There's the internals. You can see the mechanism for the door and everything. Let's take a look at the inside of this back cover. It has those white screws. Again, those are very delicate and one of them's missing, obviously, because I snapped it. But if one gets stuck in the hole, you just take some pliers and yank it out. It's a pretty basic little screw. No big deal. Don't even need them all. So I'm gonna just throw that one down by my slipper. And I'm gonna use my finger to show you how this mechanism works. I just bend it back like that, bending it with my finger. So I'm gonna be using a guitar string as my pulling wire. I like guitar strings because it's kind of like turning your car into a guitar. And it has a neat little ring at the end, so you can easily make a loop, and they're pretty strong. Just pull that through. Pull it. It's hard to film and do this, I guess. How am I holding the camera here? Okay, so there, I got my loop on the mechanism, and that's it. So you want to wire it behind, and I found the most useful hole, again, is the bottom right, where it just so happened my screw had been stuck there from the back panel. So that was just my hole of choice, but it's also the right angle to get leverage when you yank on the wire. Right here, the guitar strings sort of caught on the existing cable. It's like that little blue thing. So there, okay, now it's got the right angle. So you gotta just make sure you have this type of leverage where it pulls down. So I strongly suggest using that bottom right hole because it worked really well for mine. Guess I'm doing another test pull. It was really satisfying to do this part, just knowing it's gonna work, because it's such a pain in the ass not having any way to get out of your car when you're in it. So, blackout moment. We're gonna move on to the, I kind of made like a sort of like a buffer, like a plastic sort of buffer so that the string doesn't degrade. So, yeah, I figured plastic, I used a plastic pen cap and I just kind of cut it down to size, and it'll prevent the metal from chafing from all the friction. So you place it in the hole, like so, and then you get a real heavy-duty hammer and just mash that in. It's always a good sign when you're using a hammer on a car. So you mash that in, and then it's there, and then you can put the guitar string through it, and it won't chafe on the metal. Metal on metal, no good. But this plastic is, I personally think, gonna ensure nothing breaks too soon. I've seen people use rope, and I'm starting to think maybe that's also a good idea, but I'll let you know how long this lasts. So here's me pretending to drill a hole through the back cover because I already did it. But basically just make sure your hole lines up with where you want the wire to come through. And there's like a channel you can stay to the right of. And then ta-da, you got a hole. And then you just kind of line those up. Pull that guitar string through. Get that in place. I'm gonna position it, and then this part was really easy, actually. Everything just kind of lines up. Guess how I do it. Give it a smack. There, all clipped in. Test it. Okay, so there we have, and you can see it's yanking on the handle. Everything's behaving, everything's stayed in line. Good signs. So this goes back in just like that. Nope. Just like that. Clip. Give it a test, and then this took some troubleshooting. I thought I could just kind of shove it back in there. It really doesn't feel like a very sophisticated screw. I thought that would help, but it didn't. So you actually have to separate the ring, push it in first, and then get your screw, and just twist it in, and then the ring itself will kind of grab hold. I don't know why they couldn't have just used a metal screw, like with actual threads, but this is what they wanted to do, so it's kind of cool. And let's get the key ring on there. So this is an easier pull tab. Guitar strings are appealing to work with because you can bend them, and then they twist up pretty precisely. And I thought mine finished real nice. You just kind of grab, give a little wrap, and then pinch it and twist the ring itself, and you'll get this very nice braid looking thing. And let's take a look here. Look at that. I'm okay with that. That turns out okay. Actually, I ended up editing it, and now it's shorter. But look at where it leads. Thanks for watching. I hope this has given you the confidence to do this modification yourself. I was super unprepared and just made it work. Good luck, y'all.